Hi everyone, I'm speaking to you on a very important topic today, entirely different one. Who killed Jesus? Who killed Jesus? We know Jesus died and we know it was a terrible event that led to a surprise. So who was responsible for his death? I like suspense and mystery novels. There is excitement in trying to figure out who did it, and I'm delighted when I can put the pieces of the puzzle together before the killer is revealed. Jesus' death is not really a mystery because we know he died and rose again. However, there is a question surrounding his death that we should consider. Who killed Jesus? To answer these questions, there are 4 prime suspects to consider. After considering each one, I will give you the final analysis. Who killed Jesus? Pilate and the Romans. In Jesus' day, the power to execute was in the hands of the Roman government. If someone was going to be executed, especially by crucifixion, someone with authority from Rome had to give the order. Pilate was the governor, and Jesus would only be executed if he gave the word to do it. He had full power to give or rescind this order. Who killed Jesus? The Jews? Another suspect we could easily point the finger at is the Jews, not as a whole race, just the specific ones who arranged his arrest and called for his death. The Pharisees, chief priests, and law teachers saw Jesus as a great threat. He called out their hypocrisy. He was the one who threatened their positions of honor and power. The reason the Jews could be the ones who killed Jesus is that they were the ones pushing for it. If the Jewish leaders and the Jews in the crowd were not urging Pilate to crucify Jesus, Jesus would have not been executed. Therefore, you can also say it was the Jews who killed Jesus. Who killed Jesus? Satan? It is possible we can lay the death of Jesus at Satan's feet. We know Satan motivated the hearts and minds of the people of that day because he wanted to kill Jesus. Early in Jesus' life, Satan influenced Herod to kill Jesus. When Jesus began his ministry, Satan walked through the Pharisees and the teachers of the law, motivating them to kill Jesus. Because he was the main instigator, feeding the people with this thought, we can argue Satan killed Jesus. Who killed Jesus? Us? There is another place we can turn to answer the question of who killed Jesus. Why Pilate gave the word to carry out the act, motivated by the Jews, we know there was another motive behind why Jesus died. Jesus didn't die because of Pilate or because of the Jews. Jesus died because of us. Therefore, you could make the argument that we killed Jesus. Isaiah tells us this about Jesus' death in Isaiah 53, 5-6. We have already established Jesus did not die for any sins he committed. He died for telling the truth. We also know his death became the sacrifice required to take away our sins and once and for all. Hebrews 10:10. If sin had never entered the world, then Jesus would not have had to die. But we know sin entered the world. The only remedy for sin that would satisfy God's justice would be a perfect, sinless sacrifice, which Jesus became for us. Since the reason for his death was the sins you and I committed, you could argue we are the ones who killed Jesus. If you take a big picture view, it was not the Romans, the Jews, Satan, or even us who killed Jesus. Jesus was killed because it was the will of the Father. Jesus' death on the cross was by God's design so that we could have life through his death. If you want to place the blame for the death of Jesus at anyone's feet, place it at the feet of the Father. Everyone else may have had a role to play, but all they were doing was carrying out God's plan that was designed before the world's creation.